Hello, and welcome to RuPaul's Drag Race Rejudged, where today we will be taking a look at UK vs. the World Season 1 because we have to. This video was an absolute pain to make because I had to rewatch UK vs. the World to do it, so please like and subscribe. First up is episode 1, which has some of the least variety of any variety show we have ever seen. Before I get into the actual judging of the episode, I just want to point something out. Bag of Chips, Blue Hydrangea, Cheryl Hole, Janie JK, Jujubee, Lemon, Mohart, and Pangina Heels all either sang live or lip-synced. 8 of 9 queens. But keeping that in mind, Jimbo and Pangina are the clear top 2 of the week, with Blue in 3rd place. For the bottom 3, there was really no shortage of queens to look at, but I ultimately went with Mohart, Janie JK, and Jujubee. Of those 3, factoring in runways, Mo is safe, leaving Janie and Jujubee in the bottom. Jimbo and Pangina lip-sync to Say You'll Be There. Pangina steamrolls, and I think in this timeline would eliminate Jujubee. Pangina played a very strategic game this season, and eliminating the only other queen who is the sole representative of their country doesn't seem like a strong move. But moving on to episode 2, which is the ball. This was one of the worst inspirations for a ball ever, but here we are. I think Janie, Jimbo, Pangina, Mo, and Blue all did pretty well, but for the top 3, I decided to go with Janie, Jimbo, and Pangina. I think Jimbo had the most cohesive look overall, and while Janie's final look was not the most intricate in terms of actual sewing, I think it was the closest to something RuPaul would wear, so that gets her the other spot in the top 2. For the bottom 3, since Jujubee is unfortunately not here, Baga, Cheryl, and Lemon are the bottom 3. I decided to save Baga from the bottom, not because her final runway was good, but because her first 2 looks were slightly above average, and I think that puts her slightly above Cheryl and Lemon. Janie and Jimbo lip-sync to the interesting remix of Supermodel, I guess. Janie wins, and Cheryl is eliminated. Next up is episode 3, which is the Rusical. This was probably the most entertaining episode of the season, but it still wasn't great. Janie and Pangina really ran away with it. I think Lemon would be high in this timeline because she's probably the second strongest performer on the cast. For the bottom 3, I decided to go with Baga, Jimbo, and Mo. And once again, I decided to save Baga from the bottom because while she was not good, there were 2 people who were worse than her, which is kind of the story of this season. But Janie and Pangina lip-sync to We Like to Party. Pangina wins and eliminates Jimbo, finally making the season interesting. And I in no way foresee how this could make the season worse long term. Speaking of making the season worse, we have episode 4, which is the Snatch Game. This Snatch Game I did not like the format, but it's what we got. I decided to go with Baga and Blue for the top 2. I think Mo did well and Lemon would do fine. Janie and Pangina, though, I think are the worst 2. Baga and Blue lip sync to Let It Go. Blue wins and eliminates Pangina. And with that, the 2 strongest competitors of the season are gone. Remember when I said the season couldn't get any worse after Jimbo and Pangina are gone? Well, buckle up, folks, because it gets worse. Moving on to episode 5, which is the Rumix, and if you are not in the top, you are in the bottom. I think Lemon and Mo would both absolutely steamroll this episode and get the top 2 slots, leaving Baga, Blue, and Janie in the bottom. Lemon and Mo lip-sync to Toy. Lemon wins, and instead of taking out Baga or Blue, she decides to go for Janie. We have now lost all 3 competitors who were doing even remotely well in the season. Everyone who is left has just had one good performance and has been average or worse every other episode. Moving on to episode 6, which is the finale. While this final four is likely received a bit better than the original, it is still not received well, and I don't think this season is looked back on fondly with better judging. In terms of the actual fan vote, I think Lemon or Blue would win, but I don't really know. In terms of track record, they're all pretty middle of the road. Blue is in first with 5.6 points, 1 win and a bottom. Lemon and Mo are tied for second with 5 points, 1 win, and 1 bottom each, having the exact same track record. And Baga is in fourth with a score of 4, 1 win, and 1 bottom. Moving on to the lip sync smackdown for the crown, and once again, it is just really disappointing. Baga and Mo lip sync to Domino, and honestly, I'm just gonna say it, it is a double elimination. That lip sync was terrible. Blue and Lemon lip sync to the Reflex, and while it would be, I guess, better than the original, has to be a double save because there's no one else to be in the top 2. Blue and Lemon lip sync to the crown to Supernova. I think while Lemon might have a stronger performance, I think Blue would win the season based off the fan vote, track records, and the fact that she made the biggest move of the season, taking out Pangina. While I think this version of the season is received a little bit better, it's still not received as a good or even average season. Just to recap, we have a variety show where 8 of 9 competitors do the same things. We have the 3 strongest competitors of the season, Jimbo, Pangina, and Janie, being eliminated back-to-back before the finale. We have the first lip sync for the crown ever with a double sachet in it. And we have a final 2, each with 1 win and 1 bottom. Honestly, I think the only way to have possibly saved this season would be to have the lip sync for your life format, because then at least someone like Pangina could get to the end and succeed. But thankfully, we are done with the bad seasons. We are doing Canada versus the world next week, and it will be a much less negative vibe. But on that note, do you want more non-Emmy nominated content? Well then subscribe for more gay shit.